Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Letty, and today we're going to be doing a Christmas movie, an iconic movie, Home Alone. Now Aaliyah, in the comments, girl, I'm hearing your cries. I know you want me to do scary movie and screams. It's coming, girl. Just give me a minute. Now, let's go ahead and get into this movie. Now the movie starts off showing this nice ass house with these lights on it. Can I borrow $5? Now, there's a police officer in the house trying to get somebody's attention, and nobody's paying any attention to this police officer. It could not be my household, because who the hell let you in and why are you here? Do you have a warrant? All right, step back on the porch. All right. There's a lady on the phone who happens to be Kevin, our main character's mom, and he's like, Mom, Uncle Frank won't let me watch a movie, but the big kids can watch a movie, and it's not even rated R. Kevin mama like, boy, I'm on the phone. Can't you see I'm on the phone? He like, bruh, fuck the phone. I want to watch a movie. Now, Kevin proceeds to jump on the bed of clothes that his mama is, folding for the trip. And she's like, Kevin, get down. And he looked at her like, who is Kevin? You're not talking to me? The mama tells Kevin to get his ass off that bed. And Kevin says, hang up the phone and make me, why don't you? Oh, the way my hand was itching. Oh, no. Who are you talking to, little boy? Now, Kevin's daddy comes out of the bathroom and is like, oh, did you go get that adapter thing so I can shave in France? And she's like, no, I haven't had time to do that. We got all these kids that I'm taking care of. Like, just grow a goatee out. Now I see where Kevin is getting this interrupting from. Because don't you see this lady on the phone? Kevin's dad passes Kevin off to maybe an auntie and it's like, okay, here's the package. You take that. And she's like, Kevin, go pack your suitcase. Kevin is stumped. He's like, pack my suitcase? Do I look like the hell? He goes and asks his cousin. He's like, I've never packed a suitcase in my whole life. And his cousin is not with the shits. He's like, whoop-de-doo. Now, this is Kevin's older brother, Buzz, and this is a throwaway cousin. They're in the window and they're looking at a neighbor, and Kevin's brother is making up a story about how he murdered his family and this and that. And Kevin is scared. I mean, this man does look a little scary. Now, this whole time, the family has been waiting on pizza. The pizza man pulls up, hits the statue outside. Like, I don't know if I even want this pizza at this point. He comes in the house and tries to give the pizza to a police officer. Boy, are you stupid? Anyways, the uncle comes down and takes the pizza out of the pizza man's hands. And he's like, oh yeah, that's like $120, bro. The uncle says, this ain't my house. Get the shit from my brother. I never noticed this before, but the dad did not pay. He came in the kitchen, sat his lazy ass down and began to eat the pizza and tells his wife that the pizza man needs $120. So she have to go in her wallet and pay for all this pizza for you and your brother family. And then your smart mouth son just gave me mouth upstairs. Oh, hell no. Wrap it up. Cancel Christmas. Kevin in the kitchen, he like, damn, did anybody order me plain cheese pizza? You know I don't fuck with that pepperoni, man. Here come Buzz talk about something. Yeah, if you want it, everybody gonna have to throw it up. We done ate it. See, this is why Buzz need to get them hands. And I think Kevin finna give it to him. When Kevin does try to tackle Buzz, Buzz backs up and knocks over some milk. And it's very chaotic. At first, I didn't understand why they were all so mad at Kevin, but he got the damn passports wet. Still, Buzz shouldn't have been messing with him. Kevin, go upstairs. Why? Kevin, you're a disease. Shut up. I feel like everybody in this household need an ass whooping at this point. Now, this shady police officer begins to talk to the mom and is like, there's been a lot of break-ins around here. We would just want to know, are you guys leaving on vacation? And when are you guys leaving? When will you return? And the mama just spills all this information to this man. Yes, he's dressed in a cop uniform, but when have you ever seen a cop with a gold tooth? I mean, come on. Now, Kevin's mom is like, Kevin, go upstairs. And he says out of his little mouth, I am upstairs, dummy. Ooh wee. The way that Belt would be having a meeting with that ass. Now, this little conversation between Kevin and his mama is getting real heated because why are you letting this munchkin talk to you this way, ma'am? He's your son. You're not his kid. Bottom line is, Kevin is like, I wish this family wasn't even my family. Families suck. I wish I didn't have a family. I wish I was all gone. Okay, well, be careful what you wish for. The next morning, things get real crazy because the parents slept in. Why is it y'all's responsibility only to wake everybody up? I saw like 5 other grown-ups. What gets me is they put a kid in charge of kids to do the counting. She ends up counting the neighbor's kid thinking that it's Kevin. See, that's where you messed up at. They get to the airport. They get past boarding. They get on the plane. They have not seen Kevin yet. Y'all haven't looked for Kevin, not even for 5 seconds. Do y'all really even love Kevin for real? Anyways, they get on the plane and hell, Kevin is left where he's at. He wakes up the next morning and is like, damn, it's mighty quiet around here. Where's everybody at? They left you, Kevin. Kevin, being a little kid, I understand why he would think that he made his family disappear. Because when he goes outside, he sees that the cars are still here. How would they get to the airport? He didn't know that they were all taking a van to the airport. So he's thinking in his mind, I made my family disappear. So he finna turn up and get lit and get drunk off of chocolate milk. Kevin doesn't waste any time. He goes and starts messing with all of his older brother things. He pulls out a BB gun and does some target practice. Kevin is sitting here eating a mountain of ice cream and watching a movie called Angels with Filthy Souls. Let me tell you something. I have tried to find this movie and come to find out it's just a movie within a movie, which is sad because I really thought this was a movie. We flip back to these parents, Kevin's parents, and the mom is like, oh my honey, Peter, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Did I leave an iron on, or did I forget my key? Did I leave the door unlocked? I don't know what it is. And Peter's like, well, I don't know either. You left your son. Kevin's mom is stressed to hell. And in the meantime of her stressing, Kevin is trying to sled down a flight of steps out the door into a pile of snow outside. Who are these two? Oh, they're a pair of thieves. Oh, that's the officer. I knew something was up. You can't have a gold tooth and be an officer. Now, he's sitting here. He's like, all these lights are timed. That's how we know these people aren't home. We're gonna rack up this Christmas. You feel me? These two are the sticky bandits. Now, they pull up to Kevin's house and they're about to break into the basement. Luckily, Kevin woke his little ass up to see that just in time. And he ends up cutting on the light and making noise. And that's when they leave because they think that someone is home. This boy might be little and young, but he's far from stupid. Kevin's mom is trying to get a hold of this payphone, but somebody is at it and they are being rude about it. It's not her fault you left your child at home. Maybe you should do better. Now, Kevin brings his little ass outside and talk about, hey, I'm not afraid anymore. Do you hear me? I'm not afraid anymore. Boy, if you don't get your ass in that house, you is home by yourself. You home alone. Get in the house. It's boogeyman out here. You just missed them, by the way. Kevin's mom ends up getting a hold of the police. They end up sending an officer over to their house, knocking on the door. Since Kevin already had a run-in with those thugs, he's a little bit afraid. So as the police are knocking on the door, he doesn't come to the door, which makes the police officer believe that nobody is home. This right here pissed me clean off. Kevin's mom stays in the airport because she's trying to find a flight home. I would be like, I am not Kevin's only parent. You are not going to be over there in Paris enjoying your time while I try to get home. We both are going to try to get home. I need your help. I didn't have him by myself, and I'm not going back by myself. Kevin hops out the shower and thinks he's a big man because he tries to use aftershave. And I know for a fact that had to burn his little baby skin. My grandpa has some aftershave. It burns my nose. So I can only imagine what it would do to skin. The thieves from earlier, they're robbing a house and they're there whenever they get a voicemail from Kevin's dad. And they find out that the McAllisters are gone on a trip to Paris. So they're like, well, what the hell happened last night? Because the house has to be empty. That's whenever they're like, oh, we've been to circle the block. Kevin is at the store and he's trying to buy a toothbrush and he has a question like, is this FDA certified? Like, is this a good toothbrush? And as the clerk is asking somebody else a question about the toothbrush, he sees the neighbor, that Buck, I forgot his name, but he scared him with it. So he gets scared and Kevin ends up running out the store with the toothbrush. The boy done stole something. I know for a fact there has to be more crime going on than a 7-year-old stealing a toothbrush. There is no way You should be wasting my tax dollars. Well, I wasn't born then, but there is no way you should be wasting tax dollars chasing down a 7-year-old with a $2 toothbrush. Sir, go find you something safe to do. Earlier, I called the thieves the sticky bandits. I'm too far ahead of time. I'm thinking Home Alone 2. They are the wet bandits in this movie, and they are the wet bandits because they turn on people's faucets and lets their house flood. As the wet bandits are leaving the house they just robbed, he almost hits Kevin, turns him into a poster. I don't know, he almost killed the boy. And he looks out his window and he says, "Come on, kid, you gotta watch where you're going." And then when he smiles, Kevin realizes that gold suit looks mighty familiar. They're looking at Kevin's house and they see, a quote unquote party going on, but all I see is cutouts just rotating. This would not get me, but this got them. I mean, it is the 90s, but I just feel like I just wouldn't go for that if I was a thief. I feel like I would know better. It's about that time for Kevin to be hungry, and there is no mom or dad there to feed him. So he has to come up with a plan to get free food. He orders pizza from the same dumbass from earlier who cannot stop hitting the statue in their front yard. Well, he gets to the door and Kevin begins to play that movie he was playing earlier that is going to scare this pizza man. He tells him, "You got to the count of 10 to get your ugly, no good keister. You know the rest, all right?" This part just makes me even more upset for Kevin's mom. She's in the airport basically selling everything she has on, plus 2 first-class tickets, her watch, a pocket translator, the earrings, $500. All to get back to her son. Your husband should be there carrying half of that load with you, but instead he's in Paris taking phone calls across countries when you could be in the field with the You know what? I'm sick of this shit. Today, Kevin needs to go grocery shopping because he needs to do a little laundry and, he needs to get a couple things. And the cashier is like, "Where's your mom and dad? And where do you live?" And he's like, "Lady, I don't know you." You know what? Kevin, clock that. Because she's asking all the right questions, but he's also giving the right answers. All right, let's move on. Kevin get damn near halfway home and his bags bust. Now, Kevin's in the kitchen doing the dishes. He's been a good little boy, I must say. But that's when the wet bandits come back and Marv tries to stick his foot in the doggy door and ends up losing his shoe, but he reaches in and I'm sorry. Who thought these doggy doors was a good idea? Because no, I feel like that's just too dangerous. Maybe it's because it's 2025 and motherfuckers they just robbing left and right. They're doing crazy things in the world now. But I just feel like a doggy door is not safe. But then again, I am from an era where shit is never safe. Let's keep going. Now, one half of the Wet Bandits, Marv, is very stupid because Kevin uses the same movie that he used on the pizza boy on Marv. And he's like, "You got to the counter, you know the rest, all right?" He uses those firecrackers that he said he was going to use for later. And it scared the shit out of Marv. He went running back to that van real quick. He was scared as hell. How are you going to be a thief and be this scary? Get your weight up. Kevin's mom is at a new airport and she's like, "What do you mean the flights are delayed?" They're like, "Ma'am, it's snowing outside. We can't fly these planes. It's the 90s. We ain't got good electronics. Girl, sit down somewhere. It's not our fault that you left your son." Now, a member of a band overhears her and he's like, "We're going past that area. We could drop you off. That's real nice. But you want me, the only woman, to ride in a van with about 10 men? Oh, hell no. Kevin good." But she does end up taking that offer because as a mother, you would do anything to get back to your kids. So kudos to Kevin's mom. But girl, I hope you got a switchblade on you. Now, Kevin is put up this cute little Charlie Brown tree and he looks over at the window and there's the other half of the Wet Bandits. He's looking in and Kevin's looking out and Kevin tries to play, "Oh, Dad, can you come help me?" They know there ain't nobody at the house. My thing is, why you ain't called 911? I mean, at this point, it's getting real spook. Call the police. Call them. Kevin says enough is enough, and he ends up pulling up on Santa. Not the real Santa, but you know what I'm talking about. And he's like, listen, I need you to give Santa a message. I know you ain't the real Santa. And Santa like, how you know that? Boy, I'm old enough to know, but I know that you might work for him. So I need you to tell her a message. I need for you to tell him that, wait, you need my address? I live at 555 Bowberry Lane. Kevin, you can't be telling everybody your address. That's why you in the situation that you in already. You got robbers already ready to rob you, and you telling another stranger your address. Kevin is walking on his way to church, and he sees that a family is, enjoying Christmas, and he mad as hell. He jealous. Ain't you the one that wish your family was gone? Okay, I see this whole family lacks accountability. But he ends up going to church and listening to the choir have choir practice. That's whenever the neighbor that looks a little bit scary talks to him. And he's like, bro, I'm here to look at my granddaughter sing because me and her daddy, we've been beefing for some years now, and he won't let me come see his family. And that's whenever they have a talk. And Kevin is like, maybe you need to call your son. I mean, you are the daddy at this point. That's whenever Kevin is like, look, I gotta go. So he dips up out of there. Now, the reason Kevin dipped out so fast is because he know what he gotta do. He gotta be ready for them ops whenever the ops pull up. He gotta give it to them. And that's what he's running home to prepare to do. It's war out here. Now, Kevin get home and start booby trapping everything. I mean, he make the steps icy. He heating up the doorknob. He's getting ready for the ops. Now, he sit down and he getting ready to eat this Kraft mac and cheese. And this mac and cheese look good as hell. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little hungry right now. But damn, Kevin, slide me a plate. Let me get some of that mac and cheese. Now, before he can tear into this mac and cheese, the clock goes off and it lets him know, oh, it's time to party. Let's get it. Now, the wet bandits pull up to the door. They're knocking on the door and they're like, let us in. It's Sandy Claus. Whole time they're sitting here joking. Don't even know that Kevin put a piece to his piece. He finna shoot him in his double bang burst. He finna shoot him in his thing. Marv, being the very smart man that he is, decides to put his whole head in the doggy door, knowing that his homeboy just got shot in his baby maker. Well, he catches the pellet too. I mean, why not? We're giving him out like this is an episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show. Remember when I said that Kevin iced those steps? Well, the other half of the wet bandits, his name is Harry. We know him as Joe Pesci. But anyway, he goes up there and is about to march up those steps like he need to speak to a manager. But guess what? He slips and busts his ass. Marv ends up getting into the back door and he tries to pull the light switch. And that's when an iron comes out and burns the hell out of his face and knocks his ass down. What kind of burglars are y'all? You trying to cut on the light? You ain't got no flashlight? Harry, the other half of the wet bandits, goes for the front door. He doesn't look at the door because the door is red hot. He touches the door and that's when the doorknob burns a capital M in his greedy little hands. That's what you get. We flip back to Marv, and Marv is trying to get up out of there because he done got 2-piece by iron. Kevin has put like tar or something on the steps, so he's trying to get up these steps, and the steps have brought him out of his shoes and his socks. But that's not the worst of it. He ends up putting a nail through his foot. Oh my, till this day, I still grab my foot at this scene. Ouch. Harry ends up getting inside and he walks into some paper with some glue on it. And he's like, you're dead, kid. But that's whenever he triggers the fan to go off. Now he's filled up with feathers. They probably thinking, oh, this is the worst of it. Absolutely not. Marv decides to come in through a window and he is stepping on all these Christmas ornaments. Now, these are not ornaments from today, okay? These are ornaments that are probably most likely made out of glass. So he's fucking his feet up as we speak. Oh my God. How did I forget that Kevin burnt Harry's scalp to a crisp? I mean, there is nothing there. He's looking like Freddy Krueger at the... How did I forget? Kevin is doing them boys in. The wet bandits finally meet back up. And they finally see Kevin. And they think they're about to run up and do this little boy in. But Kevin has something for your asses. He knocks him out with paint cans. And guess what? Harry ends up losing his gold tooth. They run up the steps and they're catching up to Kevin. And whenever he gets to the steps to the attic, that's whenever Marv grabs Kevin's leg. But Kevin sees Bug's spider. Kevin puts the spider on Marv's face and Marv starts flipping out. The spider ends up crawling onto Harry's stomach. And that's whenever Marv grabs the crowbar and is acting like he's gonna beat this spider with a crowbar. Just say you've been wanting to beat Harry's ass from the beginning. Now, Kevin ends up zip-lining from his house to his tree house, and the wet bandits are like, where'd he go? Anywho, the wet bandits are trying to chase after Kevin, and they end up trying to climb across this rope. How high up is this house? Anyways, Kevin ends up cutting the rope, sending them swinging into the house like he is George of the Jungle. The wet bandits end up chasing Kevin into a house, pinning him to a door, and is claiming that they're gonna bite Kevin's fingers off one by one. The man that Bug says was scary ends up coming over to save Kevin. Fast forward and the police have scooped up the wet bandits. Get him out of here. The next morning, Kevin wakes up, and it's Christmas, by the way, and he's running around and he's looking and his family's still not there, and then his mama comes out the cut. She's like, Merry Christmas, sweetheart. And he looking at her like, bitch, you left me here the whole time. I had to fend for myself. I had to fight for my life. Where you been? But he puts their differences aside and he runs into his mama's arms. But get this. Right after this cute little scene, the whole family comes marching in. You mean to tell me the mama could have stayed there the whole time? That lady did all of that just to have the family come in after her after 15 minutes? Oh, hell no. The dad ends up finding a gold tooth on the floor. But Kevin goes to the window and sees that his neighbor has finally put his pride aside and called his son. And his family has finally came to see him. That was a beautiful scene. As Kevin is taking in this beautiful scenery, his brother is hollering from upstairs and is like, Kevin, what'd you do to my room? I don't know. He fucked it up a little bit. Okay, the bottom line is this little boy is safe. Damn. Anyways, that's the end of this movie. Let me know what you guys thought about my commentary on Home Alone. It is very iconic in my household. It gets played every Christmas. Let me know what you guys thought about this video down below. It's your girl, Letty, and we'll be back quicker than you can say abracadabra.